What is activated carbon? Activated carbon is a carbonaceous, highly porous adsorptive material that has a complex structure composed primarily of carbon atoms. The network of pores in activated carbons are channels created within a rigid skeleton of disordered layer of carbon atoms, and it is linked together by chemical bond, stacked unevenly, and creating a highly porous structure of nooks, crannies, cracks, and crevices between the carbon layers. And activated carbon is commonly used in adsorption process. What is the objective of this experiment? The purpose of the experiment is to investigate the adsorption properties of activated carbon by studying the absorption kinetics and its respective kinetic constant. In this experiment, we used activated carbon and methylene blue. Methylene blue was chosen in this study because of its non-strong absorption into solids, and methylene blue is often served as a model compound for removing organic contaminants and caloric bodies from aqueous solutions. And for activated carbon, we use it because it is widely used in adsorption process.
Hi, I'm Afiq. Basically, there are 8 steps need to be followed for this experiment, and in this part, Noornasuha and Hazwani will demonstrate on the methodology of this experiment.
Hello friends, my name is Anis Raj and I'll be explaining the discussion of this experiment. Graph 1 shows absorbance against time for different mass of activated carbon. The absorbance as shown increases with time until it reaches its peak, then decreases. It's because the peak or the saturation point indicates the maximum capacity of the activated carbon to absorb it. Then it discharges the absorbate so that the absorbent can absorb more. Graph 2 shows the concentration of methylene blue against time for different mass of activated carbon. Theoretically, the concentration of methylene blue should decrease due to the absorption process. Then graph 3 shows the removal percentage against time for different mass of activated carbon. The results shows that the removal percentage gets high up to a certain point, then drops at the maximum capacity of the activated carbon. It gets high again, then reduces back at 60 seconds. Graph 4 and graph 5 basically shows the mean results for the whole experiment. Graph 4 shows the pseudo first order against time for different mass of activated carbon. Basically, pseudo first order is when the kinetic model best fits pseudo first order reaction plot by giving r square close to 1. It indicates that the reaction is more inclined towards physisorption. In this case, it is shown that this graph is not pseudo first order as the kinetic model is unstable with the calculation. Moving on to graph 5. Graph 5 shows pseudo second order against time for different mass of activated carbon. If the reaction fits well to pseudo second order model, it indicates an inclination towards chemisorption. In this experiment, most of the r square is close to 1 and it reaches a straight line to indicate that this experiment is pseudo second order. Most of the graph follows the trend that has been explained, except some. This can be the cause of any error like human error or technical error. causing the data being very unstable or different than the others.
In this experiment, the effect of amount of adsorbent, which is activated carbon, on the concentration of methylene blue was investigated, and it can be summarized that the higher amount of adsorbent used, the more adsorbate will be adsorbed. It is already known that adsorption does play an important role in many aspects, starting from the smaller scale to a larger scale. Adsorption is used in many industries such as wastewater treatment plant. The main purpose of using adsorption is to separate two or more components in a mixture at very small scale, which is at atomic scale. The principle is just the adsorbate forms bond with the adsorbent and stick to it, leaving the mixture. Due to this principle, adsorption can be considered as an easy method in separation process. That's all from us, and thank you.